We set our alarm to get up in the morning.
Oh, I always make sure I get where I'm going on time. So I plan out the journey and I leave early. I'm always there in advance.
I'm doing 8 till 4, so I do avoid rush hour.
And if I know the weather's going to be bad, I leave early, or I plan to stay up in London, or I work things out.
Depends when you travel, I suppose.
I go by boat from the embankment down to Greenwich Pier.
I live outside London, and because if I don't turn up on time, how can I expect my students to turn up on time? I live in the countryside and I have a 2-hour commute. And
cycling's really bad because there's loads of buses, and one time I tried to cycle to school, I nearly got run over by a bus and it was really scary.
I've never really had a bad journey.
Although I walk to work.
In walking distance, I don't actually use public transport that much anymore.
So I usually walk, and because of the bad weather I decided to get the bus.
Mostly get the bus. One thing that's really irritating is when you get crazy people come on the bus and sit next to you and start talking to you.
So then I had to walk 15 minutes to Highbury and Islington Station and pay £10 for a new Oyster card. That's it. I was 20 minutes late for work.
Yeah, I normally get the Northern Line, and then from London Bridge I take the train to Greenwich.
walked all the way down this train for miles and miles and miles.
It was a very, very cold winter, and I left work at 8 o'clock and I didn't get home till midnight because the train was stuck just before my station on an incline. The train in front of us had no heating. We had heating, and we were stuck there for about 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, it was great fun.
Catch the boat from Embankment down to Greenwich is much better than travelling by train or tube or bus.
I buy tickets every day. Every day I travel. I work in London, I travel.
Also, when a bus is more than 2 minutes, that's annoying. I know it's ridiculous, but like when you move to London, you expect it to be quick.
I catch the DLR down to Bank Station and make sure I sit at the front so that it feels like you're on a roller coaster.
I live outside London, Letchworth. My train is about 25 minutes, just over there, and I walk across the platform.
So my daily commute takes about 35 minutes.
I actually quite like commuting on the tube because normally when I go, there's not that many other people, and then I can sit and relax and see what everyone's doing.
The cable car in Christchurch in New Zealand, there's a great cable car that connects one part of town to the top of the mountains that you can take.
I like underground the best. It's always a journey, you always see a lot of different people.
And I like it when you see someone across the tube and you tip them the wink.
That's one of my favourite modes of public transport because it is a mode of public transport.
In the past, the worst commute I did was from East Finchley to nearly Gatwick.
And we woke up actually as we were supposed to be checking in.
I think I've been late once in about 10 years.
Because I was actually on the train when the bomb went off. Not on the actual train, but I was on a train at Edgware Road and heard the bang of the train at King's Cross Station, not realising at the time that that's what it was, that it was an explosion. We were told it was an electrical fault.
My flight was grounded. I was locked in my hotel room for 2.5 days.
So we had to get a taxi to the airport.
Like in London, if you have to do the same journeys over and over and over, it gets sort of like, it gets kind of boring, but I guess it just makes you find ways to make it more fun. Or it makes you look for ways to make it more fun.
I enjoy traveling, because I get to read a book, for example. So that's one of the few times during the day when I can actually, have a bit of time off. And
I kind of think when I'm travelling that if I was fabulously rich, then I would take full advantage of the chauffeur and the Rolls Royce and the private plane. I mean, I have no doubt about that.
I think flying is my favourite. Just because it's really relaxed, especially flying between here and between London and Canada is the best.
Very strange, surreal days. I think anybody who was in London that day, particularly on public transport, will probably never forget it. God, if only I hadn't changed my mind, I could have been there.